What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I have some breaking news. We have 3 players the Detroit Lions have just released. I have to give you guys this news. I apologize. This was supposed to come up during the Lions news video, but I didn't know. Like, I got done editing, I put it up, and then boom, I see this news, and I'm like, snap, I missed it. My bad. But we do have some Detroit Lions news. 3 players have been released, so I'll give it to you now. Yesterday, we know the Detroit Lions signed Kenny Wiggins, but ahead of the draft, the Detroit Lions are going to want to open up some positions, and there's a couple of positions that the Lions currently have that are pretty loaded, and it could also be maybe the Detroit Lions looking to draft someone at that position, so we'll talk about that. The first player is Steve Longa, who was a special teams ace for the Detroit Lions, 177 snaps. He's been here for 4 years, and this one kind of makes sense. You know, you brought in Elijah Lee and Reggie Ragland. Both of guys are still on the team, obviously. Elijah Lee, I think specifically, is the guy that's is kind of the reason that this happened, you know, because Steve Longa probably won't be replaced by a linebacker in the draft for special teams. I mean, he could be. If it's a late round linebacker that we take, he could be for sure. But I think a lot of it has to do with Elijah Lee, bringing him in because he is known to be a special teams linebacker, a special teams ace as well. So I think it's kind of just a straight up replacement there. That's what it could definitely be. And then obviously, you know, with the depth that we have at the linebacker position already, I mean, you got to think we're very, very deep. That might be our deepest position. And already bringing in Reggie Ragland and then Elijah Lee, someone had to go from the linebacker position. The Lions could potentially still draft multiple linebackers. I'm not sure. So I think it makes sense that Steve Longa is no longer with us. He may end up coming back for, you know, later in the year for depth or something. I'm not sure. But that is the first player that I have. Next up, Jonathan Duhart. This one's super interesting. Wide receiver group was pretty deep, I would say. We had Marvin Hall, Travis Fulgham, Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay, Danny Amendola. But I think this could potentially, I'm not saying it will, could potentially mean the Lions will go with wide receiver in the draft. It could mean that because the Lions, with how deep the wide receiver class is and with all their players not under contract, including Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, and Kenny Galladay for next season, makes a lot of sense that the Lions would draft one for the future, right? They would draft one because Danny Amendola and Marvin Jones are a little bit older, and obviously they're not going to get any younger. So it makes sense the Lions would draft one or two possibly. So releasing Jonathan Duhart to me kind of just opens it up so in the draft you can go that route. So this may be kind of telling that Lions are at least going to draft one wide receiver. Based on this, I would assume Lions will draft one wide receiver. That's my guess. And they also released Paul Butler, who was a tight end. So Paul Butler, again, a depth tight end. I honestly never really heard of this dude. I'm not going to lie with you guys. But he is a depth tight end. And our tight end group's kind of deep already from last season. I don't know if the Lions will draft one or not. I think there is some talent late, like Jared Pickney that I'm looking at. You know, a couple guys like maybe Thaddeus Moss, you know, and you're going to do Randy Moss's son. Maybe a couple guys that are interesting later. I don't know if the Lions will go that route. But if they have a lot of picks from trading back, it may just make sense to. Maybe you can find a steal. I'm not sure. But I think that was just kind of a depth release. But the Steve Longa one makes sense with all the depth. And Jonathan Duhart kind of just tells me that we're probably going to draft at least one wide receiver. So there's your news. Sorry it didn't come in last video, but I did want to give that to you guys. Appreciate everybody for stopping in. Thank you, Pride, for watching. And I'm out.